Welcoming you back to Crypto's Juiciest News. We have absolute bombshell information coming out, friends. We have blockchain backer, one of the biggest crypto KOLs, over 300,000 plus subs. He has sold 50% of his entire crypto portfolio. And he's a contrarian guy as well. So am I concerned? I'm going to share with you all my thoughts about that coming later. But first, I'll just give you the summary. Just chill out. I got absolutely no concerns whatsoever. If you've been watching my videos and seeing my posts all the time, friends, I share with you all the information I see, such as the business cycle and where we are, which shows me that we're nowhere near Euphoria. Coinbase App Store ranking. I've got many exotic top signals to look for, but just that, look, we just focus on that. We're ranked 280. I am absolutely not concerned. By the way, we can drop. But like, I'm not going to care because it's still the same strong hands that have been here this whole time. I've got all of that coming your way. Plus, we're going to speak about MetaMask a bit. MetaMask talking about their airdrop. Is it going to be worth it? We'll talk more about that later on. And we have Donald Trump really trying to accelerate peace between Israel and Palestine. He's actually making more commands. I wonder if that's going to be a bit of like the 2026 juice we need to kind of like calm things down for a bit. Obviously, it won't be forever. No one's that stupid to think that. But, you know, as long as he gets some sort of resolution to stop everyone fighting with each other so we can basically kick on with the economy. First thing we're going to look at, though, is the Bitcoin monthly candle at around the 122,000 American dollars. It's right up here. Yeah, it is concerning. You had a red one. You're like stalling around out here. But are you really stalling? I mean, I have absolutely no problems with this chart whatsoever. Another thing as well, to sell 50% of your portfolio, you've only had 2 green monthly candles in a row. I'm not concerned. In the past, Euphoria he had 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he finished 6 green months in a row. I mean, even in the Bitcoin halving run, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? And then look at this. If you go, this is a very, very common theme, friends. A very common theme. Now, this one was 2017, blown Euphoria. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A red one, and then accelerating up. But Ethereum did 7 green monthly candles here. And then even if you go back to 2013, check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 green in a row. And here was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right? So you see a common pattern, right? When you are just running up for many months, okay? At least 5, okay? Definitely around the 6 mark, you got to be concerned. All right, we're on 2. But you might say, oh, but we had 1, 2, 3, 4. We had these 4 ones running up. Yeah, whatever, man. Like, you'd always, I'm not going to mid-curve it. You know what I mean? I think we are going to get like some sort of blow-off 6-month candle part, just personally. Okay, we might even go 7. That's just me, what I'm thinking. This is the Ethereum chart. Man, to be selling 50% here, bro, like we just broke out of this wedge that we've spent 5 years creating pretty much. And like we're sitting right here. Oh my gosh. You know, but look, man, each to their own, friends. I'm going to talk about a bit about that as well. I might have to make, I'm going to make more content and stuff around that. So you probably want to see, okay, I'm just showing you a bit of technical stuff out here, a bit of just technicals, right? Friendly technicals. On the short term, but you want to look at the bigger things. Why aren't I concerned? You know, so I've got a collection of charts, right? What I'm actually going to do, I'll show you now, because you're a baby doll and you're my friend, and I'm here to serve you. I'll show you blockchain backers charts, and then I'll show you exactly pretty much why he's selling. And honestly, you can just bring it down to 4-year cycle. I know there's all these but this and that, bro. It's just 4-year cycle. That's it. Oh, man, friend, I didn't think it'd be BCB, bro. I mean, like, you understand, friends, why is this, like, pivotal to me? It's because he doesn't follow the herd at all, okay? He's built contrarian. So, friends, you got to understand, man, like, even I was bullish Bitcoin at the lows, and Richard Hart was still saying, yeah, 10K. Do you see what I mean? So, obviously, you got everything else right. And it doesn't even matter. He's pretty much right on that thing, but this is just it reminds me of that rare moment where I'm like, oh man, like someone with a very credible track record, and I'm just a fart in the wind, right? Just moving through the air with leaves, okay? And I'm like, oh my gosh, is this one of those moments where I'm just going to get crushed again. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. But you got to think about it. If you're long crypto, Warren Buffett, also amazing track record, 95%. Guess what? You're in the 5% where he's like really wrong. He's wrong and he's like enormously wrong. You know, you've got a whole freaking industry out of it. So blockchain backers charts, what you'll notice, friends, is he's a linear chart guy. So if you chart on linear and then you start going 20, 30, 40, 50 years back, if you do a linear chart, everything looks huge all the time because the money supply is growing at literally 8% per year now. It's making everything artificially look up. Okay. So here's the Bitcoin price chart. This is exactly on the 4-year cycle dot. Do you remember, friends? Here we are, October 5th, October 6th. This is literally the 4-year cycle symmetry. Okay, so you might say, oh, well, you know, all right, 4-year cycle, but I'm just going to have to tell you this, okay? Everything you're going to see from this point, pretty much what he's describing, every single fractal, the economy, the PMI was 55, 57, and 60, okay? The economy was expanding. People were expanding their purchases. They're hiring more workers. They're hiring more cardboard boxes. They're hiring more chairs to sit on. They're getting an extra bubbler. You know, that they're expanding the business, right? We are still in contraction territory, and it's been 35 months. That's why I've got the rain. It's in 35 months, okay? It's been garbage. Now, friends, obviously, this data, dude, we go back for 150 years, and it's about 80 years on this data. Friends, you understand, like, if you really want to sit here and tell me the economy is, people are never going to feel optimistic ever again, like, dude, good. I mean, just honestly, good luck to you. I literally have a 120-year chart of this thing happening. You're going to tell me now this time is different. All the power to you, okay? So everything I can summarize for you is summarized on this one chart. That's why a lot of people might say, oh, but Tom, it's just one chart. What if all the others are saying the opposite? No, the others are saying the same thing. Consumer sentiment, housing permits, all the indicators about retail and where all the spending is and the economy and psychology of everything, they're all saying the same thing as the PMI. They're all saying the same thing as the PMI, okay? The only thing that's like up artificially is like the top 7 of the stock market. But that's why a lot of people are saying the stock market's fake. No, I don't think it's fake, Habib. I think the stock market is front-running the AI boom that we're about to exhibit. And friends, remember I told you as well, $30 billion is an enormous amount of money to put for infrastructure, okay? $30 billion is the money we are seeing now for AI. The last time we saw that amount of money was for literally the railroad system for America. The freaking trains, friends. Trains are sexy. We love how they rattle. There's carriages. There's a train conductor, okay? There's train stations. Everything about trains is amazing and sexy, and they put their sexiness all around America. And look how useful that was in the Industrial Revolution. They were literally seeing that level of investment in by all these big companies who are the richest as well. They're just investing now. You know what I mean? So for you to come out and like be like, just like saying, oh, stock market's fake on the way up. Okay, dude, but what you're telling me is we're going back to 1995. You're saying the stock market's fake because everything's going up. Yeah, but Habibi, if you go back to the stock market, all right, back then in 19, if we can go back all the way, friends, and you can actually see, yeah, friends, you know, the stock market, they thought it was super high back in like 1996. Okay, if we go back all the way, this is it. They thought this was high. You see that? Friends, if you had like a blockchain backer here, look at this. You think, oh my gosh, this thing has gone parabolic. Look at this. It's literally up only. You're like, oh no, look at this stock market. Friends, this is literally, whoa. Look how high that is. Okay, but look what ends up happening again. Look at this. Oh my gosh. So what was happening in 1996? Well, the stock market was starting to price in the internet boom. Yeah, it still took a few years. Okay. At some point though, you're going to reach the top. The thing is though, at the end of the internet boom, you didn't see this level of investment of infrastructure. Yet you didn't have your IBMs and stuff investing in the internet boom at the end. You had your pets.com. You had your retailer stuff that has exploded. With AI, we have not seen that. With AI, friends, we've got to get the flying head kick robots, the sex robots, the sandwich making robots. Just understand, like, maybe they don't come this cycle, who knows? But they're making progress. And AI, for example, there's no like retailer thing that's like really spunky somewhere where people are like overpaying. You know what I mean? Like, what if every car, friends? What if every car just has its own AI unit? You know, and then we just put an AI unit on your squeaky chair. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's something you can't think of or imagine it. Imagine we just have an AI box. It has a Wi-Fi thing in it, and it talks to you, and it just hooks up to the internet, and it's got a voice speaker. and then or you just literally attach it somewhere, and it says, "Hey, I've attached you to my monitor," and you just talk to it all day. You see what I mean? Like, we haven't made something like that yet. Okay, that might be towards an end of a cycle, but that's why when I'm looking at the stock market, I'm not concerned at all. Here he has the 4-year cycle. He's got a fractal as well, because this is another thing, bro. Like, you've taken squiggly line charts from the past and just said, "Oh yeah, the squiggly line's happening again." You see what I mean, friends? I've shown you AI. I've shown you the investment in infrastructure, the fundamentals. The business cycle's still low. I've shown you all of that stuff, and then they don't look at that. They just say, "Oh, that means nothing." You know. So this is the Bitcoin fractal as well. We have him scared that this is pretty much all over. I mean, look, man, once again, Habibi, it could be all over. I just want to show you, like, for me, to say crypto, its biggest potential is $4 trillion. I don't know, bro. Like, it's StableCoin SuperCycle. The US government literally gets free dibs on spending more money if they get the whole world to use the US dollar stablecoin on crypto. So they get to buy everybody's forced to buy the bonds by law, which gives the US government free reins to go spend even more money. And then they've literally forecasted $2 trillion is coming in the next 4 or 5 years. The whole industry itself is $4 trillion. So, like, we're just getting an extra $2 trillion just of stable coins, bro. Just stable coins. You know what I mean? So, look, and here he has the interest rate cycle cut. So you notice a common pattern, right? Every time the US Fed cut, friends, when they start cutting, there's a big crash. And I've been talking about this for a long, long time. So here we now have the cut. Okay, so they go, "Oh no, we're cutting into a slowing economy." It is very true. Okay, but I just want to show you something. By the way, he has a linear chart as well. He does not put log. There was a period here. Look at this. In the mid-90s, they had to start cutting rates. And look, the stock market kept going up. Look at this. Do you see this? See this up the top, friends? They cut rates, right? And the stock market kept accelerating, right? And then it was only, they started hiking rates again. They thought it was super inflationary, but then it was actually all over. I'm not saying that's repeating again. That was a unique case. But don't you find it interesting? That example I just showed you was the internet tech boom. And now we have a roaring stock market. And like, they're starting to cut, but the stock market's through the highs. By the way, I also showed you the data, friends. When the US Fed cuts rates and the S&P 500 is at its all-time high for the previous 6 months or something, the chances of you being higher in a year, it was 100%. Yeah, there was only 5 or 6 times, but every single time we were up like an average of 8 or 9% in 12 months from that point. So it will pretty much be by like next year, whatever, July or June or September, whatever. You see, so, but once again, we don't know. Okay, but I'm showing you what he's seeing. He's seeing that, but I'm like, man, that's all the mid-curve 4-year cycle stuff. He's also got the altcoins back from 2021 showing, oh, look at the 2021 charts. So you have XRP, lower high, Dogecoin, lower high, Chainlink, lower high. But once again, I just want to show you something. Let's crank it a bit.
Let's take it back to a time when we were so much in love, baby. Ooh, yeah.
Also, yeah, as I'm telling you all these, friends, my hat literally says, "Don't be a loser, keep gambling." Man, let me know where you are watching me from today, friends. It's just the irony of all of this, you know. Just, I thought it'd be great. I know what I'm going to speak about today, and I know exactly what hat we need for this moment of time. Now, remember I just showed you the altcoins from 2021. That's why, friends, I've shown you, look, man, the charts you were showing me, the PMI, do you want to see where October, November 2021 was? Friends, the PMI was 61, Habib. It was literally 61. That's how hot it was. So everybody was like running so hot in the economy. That was our prices were subdued, but the economy is running really hot. We have like 6% inflation. Okay, look what we're running right now, friends. My gosh, look at this. See, look at we're literally contracting. So just to let you know, friends, below 50 is really bad. Like, you're contracting still. So you say, oh, I bought five barrels of chemicals to make my shampoo. Because let's say you're a shampoo maker. You bought five rounds of chemicals. Let's say 500. Make it nice. 500. But then next month it's like 490. Next month 480. Next month 470. Do you see what I mean? Like, you're slowly contracting. So you're not poor. You're not like, it's not game over for you. But you're like, man, like, you remember in 2021, you know, your orders went from 500 next month, 550. Next month, 620, right? And then 620, and then 650. That's the PMI going up like that, etc. You're not in that moment, you know. And friends, this is not an opinion survey, okay? This is not an opinion. This is their actions, okay? So you got to remember, they would only be producing all that stuff and hiring more stuff if people, boots on the ground, the retailers, the normies, were actually buying stuff and feeling confident to buy, which they're not. Check this out as well, friends. Another chart I want to show you here. So here he has the 4-year cycle. This is Hashgraph Hedera, the chart. So he pretty much just expects down only here. That's like, you know, I guess when you're calling for the end, it's all over. This is XRP, friends, just to show you. XRP, I mean, like, he's expecting the full round trip back to like 70 cents then. If this happens, he's expecting this part. Which would be like, man, oh man, friends, we spoke about this, man. Friends, we literally, I made, just to refresh your memory, 6 months ago, I said, let's see what happens when BCB is faced with the end of the 4-year cycle and XRP is not $10 like he wants to sell. Right? I said, yo, let's see what he was going to do. I never thought he'd actually sell. I thought he'd just move the goalposts. But now he's actually selling. That's why it's tough, friends. It's tough because you got to understand, this person, and this is everyone else, they're following their instincts, which have kept them alive their whole life. But Warren Buffett calling crypto a scam, that instinct kept him alive and winning his whole life, you know? But then it was monstrously wrong about the crypto industry, constantly embarrassed as we go up. He's constantly embarrassed about the tech industry as well. He missed the whole tech industry too. So let me tell you something, friends, about life as well, especially markets, okay? Especially markets. Trust me. You have to trust me. The big opportunities, no one's on your side. No one. Okay? Literally no one. You will find a billionaire, a genius, a 100% win rate person, a GCR who's going to say what you're in is trash. You will find that. Someone you respect. It's happened to me every single time. And I've been nervous. I'm like, oh, crap. I'm about to get embarrassed. Is it really that obvious? You know, I'm like, I remember, the best thing I ever did, I forgot how it all started. Maybe one day I'll remember, but I'm just like, you know what, screw it. I'm just holding, whatever. You know, and it worked out. Remember, these charts going down to zero on his expectations. Once again, friends, this is silver chart. He's got a linear chart. This chart goes back to 1950s, bro. This is literally, friends, 70 freaking years of data, and he's got silver coming back to the top. So this is the chart he has. You're like, whoa, silver's coming back, friends. Friends, this chart is the biggest piece of trash in the world. So this is gold. This is silver. You're like, whoa, this is cool. It's cool, is it? Okay, just friends, let me show you the real chart. You want to look at the real chart of silver? Okay, compare it to the smelly poop 500 index. Okay, you want to do the real chart? You do silver divided by, let's see how far the SPX goes, if we can do that. Here you go. What an abomination. Let me put on a linear chart. There you go, bro. That's silver. Well done. This is, friends, actually put on log charts. So you can see, friends, silver has been dropping, bro. Silver since 1956. Oh my gosh. Friends, silver is oh my gosh. Friends, since 1956. By the way, I use the bottom here. If I want to be cruel, I can use the top of 1980 just to show you how trash. That's down 98% against the S&P 500. So S&P 500 has literally gone up about 50x. Your silver's basically break even in 45 years. And by the way, you know what makes it worse? Silver, there's a cost to store it. They charge you if you had someone else, but you can keep it yourself, no cost, I guess. But the S&P 500 is another double whammy. That gives you dividends. That gives you like 1.5% per year as well, and that can be reinvested. So your real gains, it's not 50x for the S&P 500. It's more like, could be like 120x because you're just reinvesting and that's compounding and stuff as well. Like it gives you an extra 2x over time. This is that's huge, friends. You understand? That is enormous. And look at event silver. Like that's why for you to be, but look, and you know, it's funny. What I'm actually saying is this thing of silver is like really cheap. Friends, silver should literally be at like $5,000 or something, but they're just, you know, just keep finding more, I guess. But this is the thing as well. We're in this territory. Look, this is me, if I'm just to guess. Okay, what I'm about to tell you, friends, is pure speculation, of course, and we don't really know until the future anyway. If I was to totally guess, what I think happens is silver screws around here until 1929. Okay, either goes up and then it does sideways until 1929, or it just rejects back here, comes back to 1929. 1929 is the 100-year anniversary of the Great Depression, and I actually think we're going to have a big crash around there. I don't know why. I just feel like I just heard it once. I just thought, you know what, 100-year Great Depression scare, something like that. And then in those, people exit the world, so pretty much gold and silver go up. But you understand, man, friends, we're literally like Sammy, but that's 1929. That's 2029, bro. We got like 4 years, I know. And that's crypto years as well. 4 crypto years is like 20 freaking normie years. So that's why, friends, I wanted to show you all of that with BCB, because selling 50% of your portfolio when everything's this still low, that's a huge move. That's huge, huge, huge. And look, man, it could be trash, whatever. It's year of the snake. This whole year's been deceptive. This whole year's been trash. But next year's year of the horsey. But, you know, horses, they can go towards the finish line, or they can turn around and go back to where they started from. So hopefully this horsey that we're on next year, the Chinese zodiac year, is going towards the finish line. MetaMask, friends, have clarified airdrop rewards. So they've made this lengthy post saying, GM Foxes, a rewards program is on the way. I'll just let you know, friends, a lot of people, crypto, no one's caring about this. Like the MetaMask, they're way down from their peak. Rabby Wallet has a lot of usage. Phantom Wallet has blown them to pieces. MetaMask user experience, they made $120 million. Their updates, they're too slow. The wallet's trash. There's a lot of failures. They can't fix stuff. Worst of all, they're super expensive. By the way, obviously, I have the MetaMask wallet. I use it. I don't use a swap function there, friends. You're just getting robbed. They add an extra like 0.75% fee or something back and forth each way. It's ridiculous. Yeah, so I have MetaMask and Rabby and Internet Money. Just leave them there. Just, you know, sometimes one thing can't work on a website. You shouldn't even be visiting new websites to check them out anyway, by the way. So they're going to give, like, you know, linear rewards. Linear is a layer 2. Long-time MetaMask users will not be ignored. But the thing is, you still have to farm, I think. And a lot of people, they're like, dude, screw you guys. Because there are a lot of people who have spent, I'm not joking. Right now, you know, people have been, I'm not exaggerating, there's probably people out there who have spent $50,000 to $100,000 in MetaMask swap fees across 1,000 accounts. All separate, so they can't, so they're basically to hide their identity for it. But yeah, friends, look, you know, game is game and these people are doing stuff. But also, you know, if it loses, everybody calls you scum if it doesn't work out, because you are abusing the system. So people like that, they're always going to be there. People who do that stuff, they're the reason why we don't actually get airdrops, because there's always a few scum who come out, they copy paste 20 to 50 addresses, trying to get unique stuff. Everybody does an operation. They hire like, you know, 8 Vietnamese kids for like $8 a day. Not joking, by the way. And they just get them to click all day and they just follow instructions. They'll hire them for like, you know, 1 day every month or something to do this, or they undergo these operations to get this stuff. And every time you find out about someone doing it, the airdrop community, whoever it is does it next time, they find new ways to catch people. But it's not worth it, man. Airdrop meta is just trash anyway. Check this out as well, friends. So Donald Trump, he said, after negotiations, Israel have agreed to an initial withdrawal line, which we have shown to and shared with Hamas. So a lot of people, obviously a lot of people, it's flared up, the political stuff, Israel, Charlie Kirk, everything out here, right? However, Trump is starting to make, he's using quite aggressive words. He says there's not going to be any more fighting anymore, yada, yada. There's going to be some sort of ceasefire. Like, this is personally, I think he sat down, Bibi. He's like, look, I've got midterms next year, right? Yeah, we've got midterms in a year, 12 months. So, like, you've got to cease your fire now. Yeah, none of these shenanigans. You've got to cease your fire because next year we've got to get all our politicians re-elected. So you have to, like, stop some of that so we can kind of pump stuff or whatever. We just got to continue the next phase. That might be exactly what's happening. But you know what? No matter the reason, we don't want to see violence and terror and everything out here, and kids' freaking intestines getting blown off, which is the worst part of all, friends. That's why, just to let you know, The reason why the world feels this way. So if you look at all the polls for Israel fans, there's only 25% approval of Israel and 75% disapproval all across the world. So the only place, this is interesting, the only place in the world where people under 30 were supporting Israel was the American Republican Party. Yeah, so right-wing MAGA people pretty much, yeah. They were supporting Israel, and guess what? Charlie Kirk was one of the biggest representations of that. It was literally the last under 30s, one of the last big places on earth. Yeah. It was the Americans under 30 or 35, whatever. Yeah. They were like 65% support, 35% don't. But, big but, what started happening was people using, see friends, we have great technology now. We have not just any phone, but a telecommunication device that's mobile now. And people started filming all the atrocities. So I mean, like, there's one friend, I couldn't even watch a video, but I was told there's a video, a girl just got blown up. She's like on the street, she's still like crawling, and it's really hurtful to even to say this, but her intestines are hanging out. She's just hanging out. Just her whole body's just hanging out. You know, so this type of stuff, though, you can see it like in HD. You know, the government, they were doing this, they've been doing this forever, friends, but they would always put blurry stuff, very, very, very blurry, and they would never show that in a lot of Western media. Only if you go to the Middle East, a lot of the Arab countries, they would show the real stuff. That's why all our parents and stuff, they would always really know what was going on because they're always watching the international news and stuff. They'll be like, oh yeah, this thing out here, but it's kind of like it's hard on because they just see it and they know there's nothing they can do with it, right? But that's why a big part of the relationship between Israel and America is now trying to shift. We know they can pull some buttons, friend. That's why I hope next year's really the year of the horse here, and I hope there's no big, enormous, let's launch the next world crisis type of retaliation for a distraction. But I don't think this stuff is going away. I mean, look at how many friends, no matter what happens in the world, people say, like, very nice, okay, release the Epstein files. Like, literally, it's like the biggest meme in the world. Like, it's an unstoppable meme. So I guess the world's going to shift in that department out here. We don't know what the future holds. But yeah, makes sense now, right? When I just told you all of that. Why? See, Charlie Kirk started to ask questions. He started to be like, well, do we have to bomb them? Pop. I gotta laugh. You gotta laugh. It's literally just asking questions, So that's the thing, friends. Israel's assassinations, they're known for. They don't wait until you've turned to do it. Okay, they don't wait. They get you on the turn. Okay, so they get you instead of like, because there's a how people turn to the side. It's kind of like turning to a zombie, right? Like you start getting a bit fleshy. Yeah, so once people start to ask questions, I guess they know, hey, when someone starts asking 2 questions, in a year from that point, they're asking 100 questions. Yeah, and they've turned. So they get you when you start asking 2 questions. You just start asking 2, right? And then that's when that's why they're all feared for their life. But hopefully we can all move on and have a resolution because, we want all this stuff to stop. But also I want my old season too. I don't give a shit about the world at this point, bro. We've been waiting way too long, okay? Way too long. PCB's out. Everything's gone crazy. Here you have Eric Wall, friends. Eric Wall's been collecting. So we found out from Crypto Kobe, apparently Eric Wall's worth between $100 and $200 million, right? And which make him the richest non-founder who's even aware of Pulse Chain, I guess, that we know of. I guess not including CZ or whatever, but in terms of like, a person that you kind of like can confirm it. But yeah, so he's collecting $60,000 off Lady Havid at like $100 at a time. But yeah, so a lot of people are saying as well, Eric launched the Bitcoin JPEGs, the Taproot Wizards or something, and it's I checked the chart, down 90%. So like, hopefully we could just move on and get some pumps. So friends, I just wanted to give you all this information, right? The business cycle is still low. Okay, so look, I'm just telling you now, I've noticed something as well, okay? Every day, the crypto K-walls are falling. They're all falling. And the ones who don't want to fall, they're like leaning on me. I know you're all watching me. Okay, not talking about posh. I'm talking about the bigger ones. Okay, I'm talking about actual mainstream normie crypto. Okay, they're actually leaning on me. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the brazen confidence, or it's just this ability to say, you know what? Who cares if it goes to zero? Screw it. We tried. I'm not giving up, bro. I'd honestly, at this point, I'd rather watch it all go to zero. I'd rush it. You made me wait 4.5 years, and it's also year of the snake. I go, year of the snake, and I'm thinking, should I sell or not? You know what I mean? Like, bro, it's year of the snake. Okay, year of the snake, friends. If you see a snake, what's the first thing you should do is pretty much do nothing. It pretty much just goes along its way. Okay, it sheds its skin and let it just piss off. Okay, that's usually what you should do. Unless it's a brown snake, of course. And yes, I have come into close encounters with a brown snake, and yeah, you better believe I blew it off. Okay, I don't care. It's probably I don't care if it's endangered. By the way, brown snake, one of the most deadliest in the world. So you're going to probably see now, friends, more and more people fall off. You know, also let me show you something as well, friends, from BCB. Let's just read a comment. This comment, it broke my heart a bit, but let's see it. From Flying Sean. So this man is not walking, he's not crawling, he's not jogging either. He's actually flying. Flying Sean. Okay? So I was wondering why my pills are half empty. Maybe Flying Sean. Flying Sean had a bit of a dip in here. Okay. Bro, I'm confused. So he's replying to Blockchain Backer. He says, bro, I'm confused. I've been a loyal follower since early 2022, and I bought both of your courses. So he explains, you know, he's like gone through all of these. He's like, I'm confused. You know, I'll go through this again in Yummy Update, so read a bit more. But other people as well. Doesn't a top usually end in Euphoria? You know, and remember when XRP was ranging, but now you're selling? Next person, I didn't get my pick me up or little reassurance. That's kind of what he says. So everyone's like, man, what's happening? I thought this meant to be Euphoria. I know, man, markets are hard, friends. There's always something a bit different each time. A bit different. But that's why I still take a stand. There is something monstrously different this time. The PMI, we never hit that part out here. But, like, still, at the end of... Like, it depends what you believe in now, right? Do you believe that because 4 years has passed, it's now all over? Do you believe in that? Personally, I don't lean on that. Personally, I lean on a cycle being over when you run out of buyers. Okay? And just to let you know, you ever watch my literally 50 plus videos with a bull market title? Bull markets end when you run out of buyers. Yeah, it has nothing to do with the sellers. So when you run out of buyers, friends, I mean, like Coinbase App Store rankings 280. The buyers haven't even come in. Yeah, the PMI has not hit 55 plus. The buyers have not even come in. Consumer sentiment trash. The buyers have not even come in. Right? So I don't think the bull market's dead. But you can make your own decision for that. I'm staying put. Like, subscribe, belly button, all. Catch you in the next one.